Well, let me first paint a sympathetic picture here. Wright brothers forward to the first jets, every generation of airplanes was faster than the one that came before it. That was the primary vector of innovation. And then, 1973, we outlaw increases in speed.
Uh-huh.
Where does that leave innovation? And then, 1973, we outlaw increases in speed. So where does that leave Boeing? I mean, yes, in some ways it was an own goal, but let's be sympathetic for a moment. All they can do is improve the design they've already got, just iteratively tweak it, right? So if you look at Boeing's latest jetliner and you squint and you're not an aerospace engineer, it looks just like their first one. It's tube and wing, transonic airplane. Now think about what that does to kids and what industry they want to work in. I think there's a whole generation or two that did not go into aviation because the door was closed to innovation. And heck, I was one of them.
I'm not, that did not even cross my...
Yeah, it's kind of true. Like, if you look at everything else that is evolving and becoming, like drones right now are the new innovation for aviation, drone technology. And the kids are gravitating, or the younger generation is gravitating more towards drone technology and drone engineering than aviation, because aviation kind of looks old, like it's stuck. Like people, still are interested in it, but the new thing, the exciting stuff is drone technology. So I get it here, what he's saying, like that. Perhaps there's no interest in aviation. Fixed wing aviation, because if I imagine you go to aviation school or you learn about airplanes and you're like, oh, this is technologies from like the 50s still being used in 2025 and nothing new and exciting.
Well, that's a damn good point.
I mean, why is Boeing literally falling apart? There are multiple threads to that story, but one of them is, when the door is shut to the most exciting innovation, you can't attract the most talented people. They literally go to other industries.
That's
the drone industry.
That's a damn good point. I didn't think about that. So are you getting any pushback?
From Boeing or Airbus?
Yeah.
They've got their own problems to solve. I mean, so neither Boeing nor Airbus has built an all-new airliner since 2004. 2004, Boeing and Airbus launched the 787 and the A350. And since then...
By the way, Airbus, which I think... Airbus Foundation. Where is... Let's go back. Boeing is from the US. Airbus is from Blagnac, France. Let me see. Airbus headquarters are legally registered in Leiden, Netherlands, but daily management is conducted in the company's main office located in Blagnac, France. Okay. And the other one is Boeing. Spelled it wrong. Boeing corporate headquarters is located in Arlington, Virginia. So, United States. Those are the two big guys in the aviation, commercial aviation. Boeing, Airbus.
They have not done any all-new products. All they've done is take their existing things and tweak them. Airbus has been largely successful at that. Boeing has been, 737 Max has been a famous disaster. And so they've really just, Boeing especially, just gotten hollowed out. And I hope they can fix the company. Boeing's the only U.S. maker of airliners. There are only two in the world. There's Boeing and Airbus. That's it. And Boeing is like trying to get out of a self-destructive tailspin. They're not doing.
That's crazy. There's only two in the world. There's only two aviation manufacturers for commercial. I mean, if one goes and there's only one left, and if both of them go, it's the end of commercial aviation. That's just insane.
Doing new products. They're trying to competently produce the products they already have. And it's
and both companies have technology that is outdated roughly 40 years ago. So that's what we're dealing with. The aviation industry looks like it needs some kind of refreshment.
It's not a good situation.
Is this like the days of McDonnell Douglas when Boeing acquired them?
Yeah, I think that's part of the story too. I mean, there's sort of a there was a sort of GE mindset that made its way to Boeing through McDonnell Douglas.
I didn't think clean eating could ever be this delicious.
That was kind of the Jack Welch playbook. That was, okay, the way you succeed in business is to know what Wall Street thinks you're going to do next quarter and beat it by a nickel. And if you do that, successfully through whatever machinations, you can make the stock price go up and to the right, and it works great until the day it doesn't. And the way you do that is by cutting a lot of long-term stuff. So the way Boeing ended up getting run was quarter to quarter. A lot of people say they got too focused on money, and so.
By the way, just to go back here so we understand, McDonnell Douglas origin was a U.S. based. It was the third one. So McDonnell Douglas was formed in 1967 through the merger of McDonnell Aircraft Corporation, founded in 1939, and Douglas Aircraft Company, founded in 1921. The merger was driven by Douglas's financial struggles and needed to compete with Boeing. So there was McDonnell Douglas competing with Boeing in the United States. There were two companies, which then eventually Boeing bought them out. Right over here. Later accusation, McDonnell Douglas was eventually acquired by Boeing in 1997, making the end of the McDonnell Douglas name in the aviation industry. So just everybody eats each other up.
They didn't care about safety. So the way Boeing ended up getting run was quarter to quarter. A lot of people say they got too focused on money, and so they didn't care about safety. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's quite true. I mean, if you look at the results of their lack of focus on safety, it was the biggest financial disaster that ever had. They didn't pay off financially. The problem was their financial focus was short range, not long range. So Phil Condit left in 2004. I think he was the last good CEO over there. I'm fortunate to have him on our board now. And after that, we had people like Jim McNerney who explicitly said, hey, no more moonshots. And they meant no more new products. And I remember hearing that at the time, and I was in my 20s living in Seattle. Actually, I was living in a building called Concord. Maybe this is my destiny.
Are you serious?
I can't make this up. It was a little condo in downtown Seattle, a building called Concord, no E. But I remember reading that from Jim McNerney and thinking, what the heck, dude? You used to be in the literal moonshot business, and now you've just decided to give up. And by the way, if you can't attract young people before, now you definitely can't attract young people. And if you go 15, 20 years without developing a new product, you don't have anybody left who knows how to do it.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And so the whole thing just devolves. At this point, by the way, we didn't mention how this is important to the country. Boeing's the number one U.S. exporter. And as you know, we've got a huge problem. We don't make things here anymore. Mm-hmm. Airplanes are one of the last things we still do.
That's crazy.
And we're fumbling that. It's a
That's crazy. It's the last thing the U.S. is manufacturing, the aviation industry, and it goes down to all the smaller planes too, like Cessna. Wow.
huge problem.